So there are certain inconveniences that we locals have to deal with living in Hawaii. There's the small inconveniences, you know, the manini stuff, like you gotta go back to the counter to get a second straw because your biodegradable straw broke. Then there are the ordinary inconveniences, like having to sit through an extra hour of traffic. And then there are the big inconveniences, the Alua size inconveniences, the ones that really wear us down over time. And the worst of these inconveniences is recycling beverage containers in Hawaii. Ah, man. So let's talk about it. And just to be clear, I haven't given up on the concept of recycling here in Hawaii. I've just sort of paused a little. And while there's so many issues with the Hawaii recycling program, like the added cost of actually dealing with this material, particularly the glass, as well as the questionable self-reporting of the data from redemption centers, all of which you can read in the auditor's report, I mainly just want to talk about what I think is the more realistic experience for most locals here. So tell me if this sounds familiar. So you live in Hawaii and you like to enjoy the occasional beverage now and then. Maybe it's a soda, maybe it's Hawaiian Sun juice, or maybe it's some specialty beverages that happen to be in certain green glass bottles. Whatever the case may be, you like to consume these beverages. And because you consume these beverages and you're a good person, you decide that you want to save the cans and the bottles to recycle later. But now you have trash cans or plastic bags on the side of your house full of these cans and bottles. And the only time you take them to the redemption centers is either when you get too many bags or when somebody in the house complains. So then you load up all your bags of containers into your trunk, you drive down to the redemption center, you dump them into their trash cans, then you wait in line, and then they weigh it. And at that point, you have to decide whether you're going to accept what they're going to pay you or reject it. And you're pretty sure that you should be getting more money back for the cans and bottles that you just gave them, but who has time for them to actually count them out one at a time? So you sign and you take the cash and then you leave. So maybe it's just me, but I find that recycling in Hawaii is a pretty big inconvenience. But the thing is, recycling in Hawaii wasn't always this way. I remember when I was first introduced to recycling back when I was a little kid, it wasn't because I wanted to save the planet, it was because my grandpa told me I had to. Because you see, at my grandma's house, we had a lot of extra cans, whether it was soda or juice, or my grandpa liked to drink beer, so there'd be a lot of cans in the back of the house. And whenever I went there, he would tell me, "Hey boy, go crush cans." And so it was my job to crush the cans with my grandpa's homemade can crusher. And for the most part, it was pretty good, but it would miss about 1 out of 4 times. And so I'd have to reset the thing. It was all rusted. And of course, if I missed, then the can, all the juice or the soda or even the beer would go spill and land on my slippers. But I knew it was all worth it, because eventually that bag of cans that I had been crushing over weeks would eventually get full, and then my grandpa would take me to the recycling place behind Kaneohe Longs. So then we load up the bag of cans in the back of the trunk and we drive down, and my grandpa would, you know, talk story with the guy over there, and eventually he'd hand him some cash. We go in the car and then he'd hand the cash to me. And of course I'm a little kid, right? So I'm looking down at all this money. I'm like, oh bruh, I stay rich. And at that moment, I was just mostly focused on what it is I could buy with all that money. But that was recycling to me, growing up as a little kid here in Hawaii. We did it not because there was a beverage fee or anything. We just did it because, well, my grandpa said to do it. But I think more importantly, it was just easy to recycle. Now, there was talk about a recent proposal to double the beverage fee from 5 cents to 10 cents. So instead of the high 5 that we got here, it would be high 10. And let me just say that if the purpose of that is to encourage more people to recycle, well, to be honest, that fee is not enough for me. I mean, a 6-pack of Hawaiian Sun, that's like 60 cents. It would cost more for me to drive down to the redemption center than to just throw them away. But I thought to myself, what would the fee need to be increased to that would actually stop me from just throwing away these cans? Like, what would that amount be so that I would tell my wife as she's about to throw this away in the trash can, hey, don't throw them away. That's plenty of money right there. And so for me, that price point is not 5 or 10 cents. I think it'd be about 50 cents, because not even a quarter is enough for me to recycle these cans, just in terms of just trying to get the deposit fee back. But let me know what your fee would be, what your price point would be to motivate you to recycle every single bottle or can that you have. But coming back to the idea of raising the beverage deposit fee, I don't think increasing it will encourage me to want to recycle more. I don't think that it's going to be enough to change my current behavior. And it's because the fee itself is not the pain point. I mean, I would love to recycle more. I think that waste management, particularly on an island here, is very important. But the root issue for me, and I think a lot of other local people, is that it's so inconvenient to recycle that sometimes it just doesn't feel worth it. Because to me, if the goal was to increase recycling participation, yeah, you could adjust the fee, but really what I think we need to do here in Hawaii is make it easier for people to recycle. And I think the best way to make it more convenient for people to recycle here in Hawaii is to make available reverse vending machines in a lot of locations. And I'm talking choke locations. I mean, imagine if you go grocery store, or you go to the mall, or you go to certain businesses and they had these reverse vending machines. You put the can in, you get your money back. You could do one can, you could do a small bag of cans. The idea is that it's just more accessible and the money is right there. There doesn't need to be operating hours, you don't need any staff. You could even have an app that could show you where all the vending machines are, and also an indication of whether the vending machine is full or not, sort of like they have for the Beaky bike system here. But that could never work. Here, bruh, the machine's gonna break. What we gonna do? And it's true. We probably won't have the parts here if these machines break, and they'll have to be shipped to Hawaii like pretty much everything else. But the thing is, if there are enough of these machines around, then this maintenance would become a regular thing, and that could possibly be an actual trade that we could have here in Hawaii, where we could train technicians to repair these machines. And the special fund that holds all of these deposit fees is currently sitting at $67 million in surplus, just sitting there. So I think, why not use some of that money to start investing in some of these machines? And by the way, if the state ever wanted to pilot this type of project, I will volunteer the half mile around where I live to just drop like 4 or 5 of these machines. It's okay. I think the people in my neighborhood would appreciate that. Because if we're trying to encourage more participation in recycling, we just gotta make it easier for regular people. To me, that's the easiest fix. Now, I know one of the arguments for increasing the beverage deposit fee is that in other states that did that, they saw a big increase in participation. And maybe that's true. Maybe they did see an increase in participation, but I think what is failed to be recognized is that those places, those states also have these reverse vending machines. So it's very easy for people to recycle. And without that part of the equation, I think any increase in the fee is not going to see a significant increase in participation in recycling. Again, unless the fee is like 50 cents or $1. Because if the fee ever goes up to $1, bruh, you might see me at Almoana Beach Park, you know, looking through the trash cans, trying to collect cans and bottles. And for those who think that the reverse vending machines can't work here because that's just not how we do it, it's never been done here. Well, I've actually had the opportunity to use reverse vending machines here in Hawaii. It only worked one time because after that, the thing always got full, or sometimes it was broken, but it was actually pretty easy. They had a machine within walking distance to where I would work. So I'd either bring one can or I'd bring my small bag of, 10, 15 cans, and I would just go to the machine, put the can in the machine, it would smash it, take it away, put the next one, and when it's all done, you just tell it you're all done and the money comes out. And the best part is you actually get the 5 cents per container. None of this weighing stuff. So overall, I think that if we do want to see an increase in recycling participation among residents, local people, we're gonna have to change how this system is currently run. And sure, let those Reynolds recycling guys keep doing what they're doing with the brick and mortar redemption centers. You know, kind of like how back in the day, the city used to have the garbage trucks with the two guys coming at 4 a.m. and they're hanging off the back of the truck, and they grab your trash can, they throw it in, you know, all the trash inside, and they make loud noise and just kind of roll your trash can to kind of where it was. Yeah, let those guys keep doing that. But just like how we've moved on from that system to the garbage truck that got the arm and everybody got the bin, and you go like this and you go like that, maybe it's time that we should consider modernizing how we recycle here. Because I don't think it's about increasing the recycling fee in Hawaii, but about increasing the opportunities for us to be able to recycle. Because I don't know about you, but it almost seems like this whole recycling system is in favor of people who have space, people who have the space to really store all of these cans so that they can accumulate enough so that when they do go down to the redemption center, it's worth their time. But the thing is, not everybody has that kind of space. We don't all live in single family homes. Some of us live in condos or smaller accommodations. And so for us, in order to recycle, we'd have to either go more often, or we'd have to store these cans inside our house. And like I mentioned, Hawaii has enough problems with bugs on the inside that I really don't want to give them any more reason to come inside our place. So how has your experience been recycling beverage containers here in Hawaii? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and aloha. Okay, where's my 5 cents gonna come from?